Man, the Vatican Library really plays into every Dan Brown fever dream, doesn't it? It's got that whole secret society vibe baked right in. You bring up the place and boom, people start picturing dusty halls crawling with Illuminati, forbidden books, and priests nervously glancing over their shoulders. Officially, it's been around since 1475, thanks to Pope Sixtus IV. But let's not kid ourselves. Those popes were hoarding scrolls and manuscripts way before it got a fancy name. It's like the world's most exclusive book club, and you're definitely not on the guest list. Honestly, what makes the Vatican Library so fascinating isn't just the mountain of ancient papers it's sitting on, which, let's be real, is probably enough to wallpaper the entire country of Luxembourg. But the fact that you can't just stroll in and browse. Oh no, nah, you gotta jump through more hoops than a circus poodle. Prove you're a legit scholar. Convince them you're not just there to snoop, and then maybe, just maybe, they'll let you peek at something. No wonder people get obsessed with what's behind those locked doors. What are they hiding? Ancient alien blueprints? The true recipe for Italian espresso? Who knows? So what's really in there? Well, rumor has it, we're not just talking old encyclopedias or dusty church records. Nope, people whisper about manuscripts so wild, so off the wall, that the church supposedly locked them away on purpose. Stuff that could have flipped the whole script on what we know about history or religion. Picture texts so gnarly or heretical that the only way to keep the peace was to tuck them into a vault and throw away the key. Take the Gospel of Judas, for example. That one's a showstopper, dug up in Egypt back in 78, but written way earlier, maybe 2nd century. Instead of painting Judas as the ultimate backstabber, it flips the whole story, suggests he was actually Jesus's #1 guy, following orders to set the whole crucifixion train moving. Like what? If that were true, centuries of church dogma go out the window. Judas turns from villain to, tragic hero. Talk about rewriting the narrative. If the church did bury this stuff on purpose, and let's face it, it wouldn't be the first time an institution wanted to protect its image. You gotta wonder why. Was it just that the story didn't fit the neat good versus evil thing? Or was there even more at stake? Maybe the kind of chaos that comes from telling people their heroes and villains aren't who they thought they were. Either way, it's wild to think about. Makes you wonder what else is gathering dust back there, waiting to shake things up if it ever sees daylight. The Templars, their wild grail secrets. Alright, so the Knights Templar, those medieval badasses draped in white with the red crosses, are at the heart of some of the juiciest Vatican conspiracy theories out there. Back in the 1300s, King Philip IV of France basically went full mob boss on them, accusing the Templars of heresy and yanking their bling, but the real mystery is what happened to all their secret docs and weird knowledge. People have whispered for ages that the Vatican swooped in and tucked away a big chunk of the Templar archives. Stuff about the Holy Grail, alchemy, you name it, in some deep, dusty vault. Now, if the Vatican really is sitting on a Grail file cabinet, who knows what's in there? Maybe it's not even a literal cup, maybe it's a code, a bloodline, or hell, some lost spiritual technology that could blow the doors off everything we think we know about religion. The Templars didn't just vanish because a king got greedy. Maybe they knew something so wild, so paradigm-shattering, the powers that be had to snuff it out for good. So, are those files still just chilling in Rome, under lock and key, waiting to rewrite the story of humanity's spiritual journey? Wild to think about. Mary Magdalene, not your Sunday school sidekick. Let's talk about Mary Magdalene for a sec. She's basically been typecast forever as the repentant sinner or the original messy woman, but some old school texts, like the Gospel of Mary, which didn't pop up until 1896, tell a totally different story. In those, she's not just hanging around in the background, she's the disciple, The one who really gets Jesus in a way the bros just don't. If those letters or gospels ever saw the light of day, honestly, it'd be an earthquake for the church. All those centuries of painting Mary as a side character, turns out she might have been running the show, or at least should have been. That's a direct challenge to the whole boys club vibe the church has worked so hard to protect. Did the church bury this stuff on purpose? Just to keep women in their place? Wouldn't be the first time. If we ever got the full story, it could totally flip the script on gender and power and religion, not to mention give women some long overdue credit for holding things together. Aliens in the Vatican basement? Don't laugh. It's a thing. Okay, buckle up, because the wildest rumor is that the Vatican's got receipts proving we're not alone in the universe. Sounds like a late-night History Channel special, right? But some folks are convinced the church has been hoarding ancient records about cosmic visitors for centuries. Maybe even how to phone home ET style. Just imagine the Pope chilling with intergalactic pen pals, while the rest of us are arguing about UFO footage on Reddit. If even a shred of that's true, it'd turn our whole worldview upside down. Science, religion, the lot. Maybe the church figured people would freak out, so they sat on the info to avoid chaos. Or maybe admitting we're not the center of the universe would just be too much for the old guard to handle, since it'd blow up their monopoly on divine truth. Either way, the idea that there's a locked room in the Vatican with proof we're not alone, that's the kind of thing that keeps conspiracy theorists up at night. And honestly, it's pretty damn fun to imagine. The Inquisition, where knowledge got the axe. Or did it? Okay, so whenever people start whispering about the Vatican's secret stash of forbidden wisdom, the Inquisition always pops up like a grim ghost at the feast. I mean, this was peak my way or the highway from the church. Basically, if you said the wrong thing, you weren't just getting a slap on the wrist. We're talking about book burnings, torture, and a lot of unceremonious endings for anyone who didn't toe the line. But here's where it gets interesting. Yeah, they torched a bunch of stuff, but there's this persistent rumor that instead of destroying everything, they squirreled away some of the really spicy texts in the Vatican's vaults. We're talking works from Aristotle, Plato, and, for the real conspiracy heads, the Hermetic tradition. Think astrology, alchemy, Kabbalah, all that mystical jazz. See, Hermeticism was basically the church's worst nightmare. It was all about waking up spiritually and chatting with the divine directly. No priests, no churches, just you and the cosmos. The Inquisition, their whole vibe was, don't even think about it. They wanted a monopoly on spiritual enlightenment. So did they really wipe out all those rebellious ideas? Or are there still scraps of forbidden wisdom gathering dust under Rome? Are there lost secrets about the human mind and our connection to the universe, hidden away because the church thought they were too dangerous for the average Joe? Honestly, that idea makes the Vatican's history way more mysterious and, let's be real, a lot juicier. Who gets to write history anyway? Here's the kicker. It's not just about burning books or locking up scrolls. There's this whole theory that the Vatican, maybe not just them, but they're the big fish, didn't just delete inconvenient history. They rewrote it. Only the stories and beliefs that matched the church's agenda survived, and everything else, either erased or twisted until it fit. Wild, right? Makes you wonder if everything we know about history isn't just some carefully curated highlight reel. So, is our understanding of the past just a patchwork of approved stories? Did secretive old men in robes decide, centuries ago, what we'd all believe about ourselves and the universe? If they did, it's kinda terrifying. Like, how do you even trust your own sense of identity if the lens you're looking through was rigged from the start? Think about it. If history got photoshopped, what does that do to how we see ourselves now? The Vatican Library, Fort Knox for ancient knowledge. Now, let's talk about the Vatican Library. Getting in there isn't just a matter of flashing your library card. You need connections, clearance, probably a secret handshake. Okay, maybe not that, but you get my point. Even if you do make it past all the velvet ropes, you can't just go poking around. Most of the really old, juicy stuff is off limits. Sometimes you get a peek, but only through glass, or you're stuck with digital snippets. Try to leak anything? Boom. Lifetime ban. Good luck ever getting near those secrets again. But it's not just about padlocks and security cams. There's this heavy, unspoken pressure. Keep your mouth shut. Scholars know the deal. You don't talk about what you saw, especially if it's weird or controversial. Is all this secrecy really just about protecting fragile old books? Or is there something much bigger and weirder hiding down there? Something the world isn't ready to know? Maybe it's both. Maybe the line between preservation and straight-up suppression is blurrier than anyone wants to admit. That's the real Vatican mystery for you. Are they guardians of lost wisdom or the ultimate gatekeepers? Why all the hush-hush anyway? All right, let's just come out and say it. What's with all the cloak and dagger business? Are they really hiding something big, or is it all smoke and mirrors? Maybe the church thinks it's playing superhero, locking away dangerous truths because apparently the rest of us just can't handle the truth. Or, maybe it's just old school power hoarding. Keep the secrets, keep the throne, keep the loyal crowd hanging on every word. Would the world actually fall apart if they cracked open the vault and let us peek? Would science, history, and basically everything we know start to unravel? Or is the real terror that the church itself would be left standing in its boxers, reputation totally shot, narrative blown to pieces? Let's be honest, who hasn't had that itch like, there's gotta be more out there, right? Hidden truths about the universe, our past, maybe even aliens or something wild. The Vatican Library is basically the ultimate do not enter sign, dangling mystery right in front of our noses. It's like the world's most annoying tease. So big question, are we even ready for this level of truth? If it's out there, do we have the guts, the brains, and, let's face it, the emotional stamina to deal with whatever mind-bending stuff is locked away? I want to know. Does this secret stuff hook you in, or do you just think it's a bunch of Da Vinci Code nonsense? Spill it.